Hey everybody, it's Cauliflower Man here, and I'm bringing you guys a video on how to download a Zcash wallet. And the reason why I wanted to show you guys how to download a Zcash wallet is it's completely different than the QT wallet that I showed you guys for Litecoin. And again, just so everybody knows, the installation process that I showed you for Litecoin, that'll work in the exact same manner for Bitcoin, Dash, Zcoin. There's a couple other ones. Anyone that has a QT wallet, and those are the best wallets generally speaking, are the QT wallets. That installation process works the same. Obviously, some of the steps will be different. Like you don't go to the Litecoin website if you want to download Bitcoin. You go to the Bitcoin website, and it'll give you the links. But the process is the same, and what you will download, the files, they will be the same. They'll just be named differently because obviously it's a different cryptocurrency. But for Zcash, you don't actually get a QT wallet. You first have to get a command line wallet, and then you download an additional GUI wallet, and this additional GUI wallet doesn't have encryption on it, so you actually have to download encryption software yourself and then encrypt the files yourself. And none of this is all that terribly hard to do. You just have to learn how to do it. So I'm going to go through all the steps here and show you guys how to do it. So the first thing you do is you just open up Zcash or open up the Zcash home website, and you go and you scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's 4 tabs at the bottom. There's the About tab, the Technology tab, the Resources tab, and the Community tab. Well, the third link below the Technology tab is a GitHub link, and that's the one that I have outlined in that red rectangle right there. You want to click on that GitHub link, and when you click on the GitHub link, where it's going to take you is to this page. You can see at the top left there it says Zcash. That's just telling you, I think that's like the authors of it or whatever, but we're on the Zcash page. This is what it should look like for you when you click that link. On the right side of this page, and about the center of the page on the right side, is a green rectangle that says clone or download. You want to click that, and it'll give you an option to download a zip file, and you download that zip file. And that zip file, when you download it and you open up your download file, once it's fully downloaded, this is what it'll look like. It'll say zcash-master.zip, and so you're going to want to extract this file. Now when you extract this file, what you're going to extract is a folder called zcash-master, and you're going to want to open that up. Now in the last video for Litecoin, I showed you how to create a name of a folder, or like I showed you that I created a folder beforehand that I was going to put all my Litecoin stuff into. In this video, I'm going to, instead of create a folder first, I'm going to just build the file, and when you build the file, it creates a folder for you, and then I'm going to move everything into the file that it builds for me. Okay, so again, I haven't built the file yet. All I've done is extracted the folder from the zip file. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to build the file and then move everything into the file that you built afterwards. But once you open up the Zcash master file that you extracted, you go to the zcutil folder, and inside the zcutil folder is a file called build.sh. Now that's how you build the file. If that's not in there at this point, you screwed something up. This is what you need, and it's going to be in the zcutil folder. So you go and you open up Zcash master, and then go to zcutil, and then you'll find build.sh. So in order to run this file, or install this, I guess, right-click on the open space in your zcutil folder, and one of the options will say Open in Terminal, and all that does is it opens that directory in a terminal so that you can run commands on it. So when you open it up in a terminal, again, in the last clip, you saw that I was in my downloads folder, and in my downloads folder I was in the Zcash master zcutil folder, and so when I clicked open in terminal, if you look at the blue in the center of my terminal here, it says download Zcash master zcutil. So I know I'm in the right place. You need to know you're in the right place, because if you try and run the command and you're in the wrong file or folder, it won't work. So I know I'm in the right place, so all I do to run the build.sh file is I hit /build.sh, and so that'll run the file, or that'll run the build file or whatever, and so you'll have to wait for it to build. But after it builds, what you will be left with is inside the Zcash master file is another folder called src. And inside the src folder, at the bottom, you will find a file called zcashd. If you built Zcash correctly from the the build.sh file, you will have this Zcash D file in here. Now, if you look actually at my folders, I have already moved the src file into my Zcash file. Like I said, I moved all the contents of my Zcash master file over to my .zcash file after I built it, just so it would all be in one place. So generally speaking, after you build the Zcash master file, I think you will find the Zcash D and the src like you will find the Zcash D, it'll still be in the src folder, but the src folder should still be in your Zcash master folder because you haven't moved it yet. I think that's the way it works. But anyways, if Zcash D is in your src file, then you can run Zcash. It doesn't matter if it's in the same folder or whatever, but I just like to put it all in the same one. But anyways, the way you run Zcash, it's the same way that you built Zcash. You right click on the white space in the src folder, and you will click open in terminal. So again, when you are in the terminal, look at the blue stuff that you have. The blue tells you the location of the directory, and I need to be in .zcash src, and that's what I'm in. So I know I'm in the right place. And so then again, all I have to do to run the file is I type in period slash, and then I put the name of the file. The name of the file is Zcash. So I put period slash Zcash, I run it. And so then what happens after you run period slash Zcash right there? Well, you start running the Zcash node, and the Zcash node, again, this is the command line wallet. So this is what it looks like. It's literally going to run in your command line, and you have to shut it off in your command line through pressing Control-C, as you can see at the bottom. But right as you turn it on, and it'll tell you that it's loading, where it says in the bottom, like the second to lowest line there, where it says init message, that means initial message, loading block index. So it hasn't loaded yet, so I'm not actually connected yet, but generally speaking, it'll load for a while, and then you'll start connecting to the network, and you will start validating blocks. So you'll validate transactions and blocks, but it's really the blocks that matter. That tells you you're connected to the network. One thing that can happen with different forks of Zcash, generally, Zcash doesn't usually have this problem, but I had this problem with Zclassic, is sometimes you won't get any connections to the network, and so if you need connections to the network, the first thing you have to do is you'll have to Google what is it? You'll Google network peers for that specific cryptocurrency. So we're talking about Zcash. So this is the page that comes up. Like if you Google Zcash network peers, this is one of the websites. It's a good website, but it just shows you all the active peers on the network. So if you're not connecting to any peers on the network, sometimes it just means you manually have to add a node on the network, and you'll connect to that node, and then you'll be in on the network, and you'll be totally fine. So if you have to add a node, these are the nodes that are active. You can see it right here. It says there's 61 active peers. Their IP address is actually the node, and so what you will actually do if you have to add a node is there's a specific file. If you go to your .zcash folder, again, like this is the name of the folder that you're going to need to look at, because this is where the configuration file is in, and the configuration file doesn't always exist here, but this is where it has to be. The zcash.config file, that's the name of your configuration file. It's always in your .zcash folder. Even if it's not there, that means that there's just you're not adding anything, but you have to put the configuration file in your .zcash folder, like immediately right there. It can't be within a folder that's within your .zcash folder. It has to be on your .zcash folder, like immediately when you open it up. There has to be a document that is zcash.conf or zcash.conf. That's your configuration file. It's just a text file, okay? And so that will, when you open up that text file, it will allow you to add nodes. So when you add a node, this is what it looks like. So again, all your Zcash configuration file is it's just a text document. You open it up with a text editor, and it's absolutely essential that you save it with the right name. Look at the name of the file right here. Okay, the file is the part that's opened in the bottom right, the get it text editor. The name of that file is zcash.conf. That's it. It's a text file, and it's immediately in my .zcash folder. Okay, that's where it has to be. That's what it has to be named. And you can just create a text document and save it as that if you don't already have a configuration file in that folder. Okay, and that's the way you do it. But again, the whole reason we're opening up this configuration file is because we're assuming you couldn't get connection to the network and you don't have enough blocks. So if everything worked fine, like, you usually don't have to do this, but just in case, what you would do is you would open up your zcash.configuration file, and then you would literally just type in add node equals, and then you would add one of those peers. And the nice thing that is, or the one thing that's nice about this website is on the left side, it literally gives you a list already annotated in the correct manner, or like it's already written in the correct manner, so you can just copy and paste it. One thing that I will say is that sometimes certain nodes, for some reason, like if you're having issues, they won't work together. So a lot of times it's best to just add one node at a time and then just run the program, let it run for a few minutes, see if you get anything, and if it doesn't work, then go back, open up your configuration file, delete the node you added, and then just add a new one. You just got to play with it a little bit. Again, I've only ever had that problem once in my life. It happened to Z Classic, and I was able to fix it immediately just by opening up the configuration file and adding a node. But I just wanted to throw that in here just so you guys knew, just in case you guys ever have that problem. But the next point in our video, so after we've already gotten the what's called the command line wallet, we need the GUI wallet. Okay, so we've gotten the command line wallet. If you had a problem with adding nodes, we fixed it by adding nodes through the configuration file. But if you want to get the GUI wallet, you will want to Google what is called the Zcash Swing wallet, and it'll bring you to a GitHub page. The GitHub page looks like this, and actually one thing on the GitHub page that you'll notice too, if you open it up, is it'll actually have instructions below for how to download it. I'm just going to show you how to do this with pictures here. But again, once you get to the GitHub page of the Zcash Swing wallet, you click on that green rectangle on the right side where it says clone or download. You download the zip file. What the zip file will look like is it'll look like this. It'll say zcash-swing-wallet-ui-master.zip. So you open up that, and again, all it does when you open, or when you open up the zip file with Archive Manager and extract it, is it just extracts a folder by the same name. And so once you extract the folder, you're gonna open up that folder in a terminal in the same way that you did before. So again, if you look at the blue in the terminal here, if you want to know what folder I was in when I right-clicked on the folder or whatever and clicked open in terminal, you can see it. I was in my downloads Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master folder. So all you have to do is click on that Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master folder, and then right-click open in, or right-click and select the option open in terminal. Now the actual command you're going to run for this one, it's a little bit different. I don't really understand these commands as well. It's obviously building it, but it's just a little bit different, the way that you build it. So what you type in there is just what you see here, ant, and then space, negative build file, space, dot slash src slash build dot xml. You'll type that in, let it do its thing, or let it do its thing, and then after it's done, this really takes only like 4 or 5 seconds. It's a really quick build. So after that's done, you will still be in the terminal in the same exact spot, and then you will type in kmod u+x period slash build slash jars slash zcash swing wallet ui.jar. Okay, and what this will do is it will actually it'll create an executable file. You will have 2 files within Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master. They will be jar files, and what you will actually, one of those will be what you will actually use as the wallet. So to actually find these, the jar file, it's within the Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master file. So it's not like immediately right there. I think you have to open up a folder called build. Actually, yeah, that's what it shows you right there in the command that you use. The folder you will open up is once you get to Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master, like after you've run this command, after you've run the kmod u+x command with everything that goes after it. I just didn't want to say it all. But after you've run that command, you're going to have to find a file within your Zcash Swing Wallet UI Master folder. You open that up. open up your build folder, open up your jars folder, and when you open up your jars folder, there will be two .jar files in there. And they'll both basically say like Zcash Swing Wallet UI.jar. I think one of them might say .jar.tz. You want the one that just says Zcash Swing Wallet UI.jar, and you can see it at the bottom of this picture right here. And what you will do with that file, the Zcash Swing Wallet UI.jar, and again, this, like, you're seeing the file when I've already moved it to my .zcash folder. What you need to do with the file you just created is you need to move it to the same folder where your Zcash D file is. Otherwise this won't work. So I've already moved it. So again, when I built this file, it was in my downloads folder and within the Zcash Swing Wallet UI master folder, within the build file of that, within the jar file of that, and then that's where I found this right here, this file, the Zcash Swing Wallet UI.jar. But you take that file and you move it over to your .zcash file where your Zcash D is, and again, the way I moved my file, I moved all my contents over to my .zcash file, so my SRC file and my Zcash D, it's within my .zcash file. But you just need your Zcash Swing Wallet, or you need the Zcash Swing Wallet UI.jar file that you just built. This is the GUI wallet again. This is the one you just built. You need it to be in the same folder where your Zcash D file is. And as you can see on the bottom left, my Zcash D file, it's right there. Okay, so both of these files are in the same place. So in order to run the GUI wallet, all I do is I start up the Zcash D just the same way I did before. I will right click, I will open up this folder in terminal. I will hit /Zcash D, enter. That will start running, and then in order to start getting this Zcash Swing Wallet or the GUI wallet running, you don't actually do that from a command line. All you will do is you will double click that from its location in the Zcash folder or whatever, and when you double click that, it'll bring up your GUI wallet. And again, once you get that GUI wallet up, that's not the end of this. So like you can't encrypt the wallet from there, but as you can see from this picture, the Zcash GUI wallet, it's a lot more normal. It's more what you're used to. But again, this is only part one of the tutorial. Sorry it was a little long. Sorry, it might have been a little hard to follow. If you have any questions, you can feel free to leave posts. But again, just remember, like, so long as you follow these directions, just remember to it's all about finding the right file, doing the right operation on the right file. Just make sure you're in the right location when you're doing the operation on that file, or it won't work, and then you should have no problem with it. But again, this isn't the end of the video. There's part 2 coming up, and in part 2 what I will be covering is how to use GPG or PGP encryption, I guess, whatever. We're just going to encrypt the file. So because this GUI wallet doesn't encrypt the wallet itself, you're going to encrypt the file in which your wallet is stored, so you gain encryption. And so it's real simple to do, but it's just an outside program that you'll have to do. But anyways, the next video will be coming up here real soon.